Hi, welcome to the Galt's Vaults. I'm your host, Kevin MacLean, with the Galt Museum and Archives here in Lethbridge, Alberta. I want to thank the three people for the lovely comments that were left as part of our last installment. One of the persons that commented was Hillary, who said that she really wanted to learn about our wedding dress collection. So that's why I'm here in this vault today. I call this Lethbridge's largest walk-in closet. And I want to share with you a little bit about our 33 wedding dresses. So one of the things I want to say is that wedding dresses are an extremely popular type of object to be offered to the Galt. They come in absolutely, or they're offered to us every year. And sadly, and I'm sorry about this, Hillary, is most of them are not taken. And that's on account of a couple reasons. So first of all, the 33 dresses that we already have in our possession pretty much represent the period from 1900 to 1970. And that's an average of about 5 dresses per decade. And most of the time when we're offered dresses, they happen to be connected to one of the decades for which we already have a lot of dresses. And the fact is, and you can probably tell from behind me, we just don't have a lot of space to keep taking dresses from the same decade. The second thing is sometimes we're offered dresses that are related to people who lived elsewhere outside of our region, who had rich lives outside of Lethbridge in southwestern Alberta, and it's better that those dresses potentially go back to those regions as opposed to be donated here. So there are a couple of contradictions that I want to tell you about, which are of great interest to me. So one of them is that, again, because all of our dresses almost date from 1900 to 1970, is that we have virtually no dresses from the period 1970 to 2000. So that's almost a half century of the historic record of weddings in Lethbridge and southwestern Alberta that have no material culture or dresses related to them. And what would be really great if we were to get dresses from that time period is that the memory around those events and the memory that people have as being part of those events would be much richer if we were in receipt of recent dresses. But what happens is people think that older is better when it comes to museums, that we want the oldest stuff, and so that they take for granted the fact that things are a little bit more recent don't have that much value to us, but that's not entirely true. And then the second thing that's really interesting about dresses is that we have 33 of them, but if you were to ask me how many pairs of blue jeans or t-shirts we had, I would have to tell you virtually none. I could count them on less fingers than I have on one hand. And so what's interesting to me again is how the public thinks that what we are interested in are things that are more commemorative or Sunday best or fine as opposed to the everyday. So for example, I'm wearing a t-shirt that I would race home from work to wear absolutely every single day. And I also have in my closet a pair of shoes that maybe I wore to the Galt's opening in 2006. So I think, and museums think, that sometimes it's the everyday material culture that is more reflective of who we are as a community and as a place, as opposed to something that's rarely used, but that happens to continue to be saved. So with that, I do want to highlight one of our dresses. It's one of the most recent ones that we've collected. It was back in 2018. It was donated to us by Barb Clark, who was Barb Hewson at the time. She married Dave Clark in 1965 at Southminster Church. And with that, I'm going to turn you over to Barb. Be well, Lethbridge.
I grew up east of Milk River in the community of Massinison by Reading on Stone Park. I met Dave Clark. He grew up at Castor, Alberta. We met in the spring when we were both teachers. We met at Carstairs. We dated throughout that year and we decided to get married. I grew up thinking, doesn't matter to me if I have a wedding or not. But of course my mom and dad said, no, we're going to have a wedding. So I said to Mom and Dad, I guess if you want a wedding, we'll talk by phone, but you'll have to make all the arrangements and the plans for it. So they did. And I recognized after the wedding that weddings are happy occasions, and that if extended families don't get together for happy occasions, they often get together just for funerals and more sad occasions. So I went shopping for a wedding dress, and this was the first dress I tried on. I always liked the heavy lace kinds of things. This one has the long sleeves with the little pointy thing on your wrist and hand. It was just a straight sheath dress. I just was trying to go as simple as I could. It always acquired many, many compliments as being a very, very nice dress. It cost me $75. I just bought it and said, okay, it fits. I just wanted something very simple, something very straight and easy to wear. So Mom and Dad arranged for the wedding to be at Southminster, and the reception was over at what we call the El Rancho, which is now the Coast Hotel. I guess we had the open house at the farm where my mom and dad lived, and then we had the dance at Macinason School. I was in the dress until towards the end of the wedding dance, and then I went back to the farm, which was only 3 miles away, and changed into the going away outfit, and then we came back to the dance and said goodbye to everybody there.